Hello, this is the real history of the Jesus Christ, based loosely, very specifically, on actual fictional events. It started in the year 4125 BHWH, before he was human, when, in no particular order, Jesus created humans, the earth, clocks, dinosaur bones, and himself. He created the dinosaur bones because he's a really funny guy, and he wanted to confuse the people as to how old the earth was. It was a funny joke. So for the next 4,000 years or so, Jesus danced around in the sky and created havoc on the earth, causing disease and flooding it for his own amusement. And after 4,000 years or so, he started getting really bored. He had dreams. He wanted to be a world-famous dancer, and he wanted to have the beautiful hair that he so desired for so long. So what he did was, around the year 2, he searched and found the most beautiful virgin prostitute in all the 7 kingdoms. And what he did was he impregnated her with incestual spiritual sex so that he could have her give birth to him. So he was born, he became human, and from a very early age he started his dance training. He got really good at it very quickly, started growing very beautiful hair. His dreams were coming true. Around the time he was a teenager, he made a lot of friends. He became king of the Jews. He invented the hairdryer. He invented line dancing and country music. So he was becoming prolific in his work, and all of his dreams were coming true. But he started to get real big, and he also started to do a little too much partying. He decided he was going to use his magical powers to turn water into wine, so he was getting drunk with his club buddies. And he contracted syphilis and chlamydia from a few of his boyfriends, and he decided, this is painful, and I'm not enjoying being a human any longer, even though his dreams of becoming a great dancer and having beautiful hair had come true. So he's like, I don't like having to pee and poop all the time too, so, maybe I'm going to cut this out. So what he did was he had the Romans go ahead and kill him by committing suicide. So he went back to being a spiritual creature. He had a great time. But now he was kind of missing all the attention he was getting. And he's like, in Judaism, they didn't really worship me, so I'm going to create my own religion where everybody worships me. So he created Christianity. He had all of his club buddies, Paul and Mark and Matthew and Jimmy Johnson. He had them go ahead and create the Christianity so that everyone would worship him. At the same time, he said, you know what? I'm going to create hell too. That way, you have to worship me or you're going to burn for all eternity. It was reasonable. So that's what he did. And for the next 1,200 years or so, he ruled with an iron fist, and you had to worship him or else. He was a little insecure because he had abandonment issues, because his virgin prostitute mother was always so busy teasing clients. So by the time 1312 rolled around, he's wanted to put a little action into the mix, so he possessed the body of Muhammad. And what he did was he wandered around the desert with Mahatma Gandhi for 40 days and 40 nights, and they were lovers. And while they were out romping in the dirt, they went ahead and wrote the Quran, 40 days and 40 nights. And he did this so that he could give some misdirection to the people, and if they believed in the Islam, he could go ahead and send them to hell. So it was pretty exciting for him. So fast forward now to the year 1822, when Jesus and his boyfriend, the angel Moroni, floated down from the sky and met up with Joseph Smith. Because Jesus is real smart, he's a businessman. So he said, look, to Joseph Smith, he said, hey, I want you to create the Mormonism, and I want you to take 10% from all the people. That way, when I come back to Earth to be a human again, I can be rich. So Joseph Smith agreed to it, because Jesus promised him if he did this, he could have a threesome with him and his boyfriend. So they did this. It was a great time, and Joseph Smith followed through on his plans. So now we fast forward to the year 1913, when Jesus created the Federal Reserve System. He did this because he was upset because slavery was abolished, and it was fun for him. So he went ahead and said, look, I'm going to create this money, and I'm going to turn everyone back into slaves through the Federal Reserve System. That's what happened, and that's why all the money says, "In God we trust" on it, because it was Jesus doing it. So fast forward to the year 1977. Jesus was getting bored again, and he wanted to be recognized for his great dancing and his hair. So he came back down to earth, and he co-wrote Saturday Night Fever with Denny Terrio, and starred in it as John Travolta. You know, it was a great, great film, all the world's best dancing, and he got all the praise and accolades he so desired. And John Travolta was pissed and became a Scientologist as a result. So ever since then, Jesus made brief appearances in people's brick walls, in their cereal, on their toast, in the soap scum in their bathroom, because Jesus wanted to remind everyone how beautiful his hair was, and still is. So that's it for the history of Jesus, until we see him again as a Mormon billionaire when he's reborn. You know, he's been a great inventor, he's been the world's best dancer, and the most beautiful hair anyone's ever seen. So speaking through my vessel, Otis Lucky, this has been Jesus, and let's dance.